I'm Brian.
And I'm Brad.
And this is Stage Talk with Brian
and Brad. And today we're talking about
The Glass Menagerie, a production of the Tennessee Williams Company of New Orleans. Brad, what did you think of it?
I had kind of mixed feelings about this one. Walking into it, I really liked the production design of this one. I really liked the scenic design, very ethereal, very dreamy and wispy, which I thought really fits the play. The lighting design and the sound design really underscored that as well.
I agree that the white satiny curtains that were hanging down was very appropriate to a dream play. But as soon as I saw the furniture that was 1930s period, I got a little disappointed that we would see yet another period glass menagerie like we've seen at least 4 other times in the last 15 years here in New Orleans. I'm waiting for a director to bring a little imagination, something different to this timeless story.
For me, I thought the most conventional aspect were the performances of the two leads. Judy Lee Steele as Amanda Wingfield and Nathaniel Twarog, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, as Tom. I thought I didn't see a lot of tension between the two. I didn't see a lot of chemistry between the two. I thought she was a little loud and a little shrill, and I thought he was a little flat and a little straightforward, and it didn't pop for me, those two.
It's interesting because we saw the production 2 weeks apart. I saw it later than Brad. For me, Judy Lee Steele's performance, I think, may have improved. She may have toned it down. Yet how she could act opposite Nathaniel Twarog, who gave her absolutely nothing in a performance that for me was like a reading you would get on the first day of rehearsal rather than 3 weeks into the run of this play. There was no poetry to it. There was no hint of the character's sexuality, and given that it's based on Tennessee Williams' homosexuality, that he was driven to get out of the apartment by some deep-seated passion and desire. Nothing.
That's right. This is a character who's sad, he's lonely, he's depressed, he doesn't like his job, he doesn't like his living situation. He has the heart and soul of a poet. It's not explicit in the script, but you're right, probably some repressed sexuality feeding into all of that. And we don't really see it in this performance.
Right, because every time the mother asks, "Where are you going?" he says, "I'm going to the movies." And even she says, "What movie is playing at midnight?" She knows something's up. And we got none of that from him. The one thing that I thought was a little different was the Laura of Juliette Delors, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who is a rather forceful actress and a beautiful actress. And so it was an interesting dichotomy to the way Laura is usually played.
I agree with you about Laura. I thought Julie did a great job with that character and a little something different than what we usually see. The Gentleman Caller, how'd you feel about Matthew Wrights?
Good, but that's a role that's difficult to screw up, and I thought he was much better here than in Suddenly Last Summer.
He did fine.
Yeah,
he did fine.
Yeah.
Good. Any last thoughts about Glass Menagerie?
Well, I hope that when they do, as I assume they will, Streetcar Named Desire and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, we will not be getting the same old the way we did with Glass Menagerie.
And, I'll say it here, I said it in my review, which you can read in the New Orleans Advocate Times-Picayune as well, that despite these missteps, which, again, it wasn't a production that I loved, but it is a wonderful script. And I think if you've never seen the Glass Menagerie before, the script really stands up to any sort of missteps that we're talking about here.
I totally agree. I mean, for those of us who have seen it any number of times, this may have been a disappointment, but if it is your first time, you could do worse.
I mean, the bottom line is it's a pretty amazing piece of writing.
No
it's
question.
An amazing play.
No question.
So that's the Glass Menagerie from the Tennessee Williams Theater Company of New Orleans at the Menagerie Opera House, running through
Saturday, August 17th.
That's right. And you can read my full review in the New Orleans Advocate Times-Picayune.
And mine will be in Ambush magazine coming out next week, as well as online at ambushmag.com.
So that's it for this episode of Stage Talk. Until next time,
I'm Brian.
I'm Brad, and we'll see you again soon.